Association with Project 21 Detailing, supported by Yokohama, this is one of the jewels in the crown of Scottish motorsport, the Scottish Mini Cooper Cup. And this has been one of the staples of Scottish motorsport. This was the place to cut your teeth if you were an up-and-coming racing driver. The likes of Rory Butcher have been here, Aidan Moffat, Chris Smiley. Aidan Moffat actually is one of the drivers that I remember vividly on one of my first visits to the touring cars back in about, I think it was about 2008 and 2009. He was, maybe it was later on than that actually. He was supposed to have been debuting in the touring cars, and there was a technical fault with his car which meant that he ended up jumping into the Mini Coopers for that for the support class, and was just absolutely outrageously fast. So seen as one of the icons here in Scottish motorsport. Let's have a look at the grid then for our second race of the Mini Cooper Cups then. As we said, the R53s, the turbo variant of the Minis, they're out in force as well. 3 cars there, Craig Blake, Jamie Blake and Andrew Lamont as they finished in the first race. Row 1 of the next race though for the Mini Coopers is going to be Neil Hose alongside Ian Munro. Then you've got Chad Little on row 2. He is going to be alongside Ian Munro. Chad Little's going to be alongside Gordon Long. Then you've got Daniel Patterson on row 3 alongside Ryan Smith. Dan Martin alongside Ewan Robertson. Then you've got Nick Ormiston alongside Chris Coburn. Andrew Bell alongside Stephen Morrison. David Taylor and Finn Mash. Now they're going to be starting on the same road together. Interesting to see what happened between those two, because those two came together. We caught the tail end of the incident. Those two cars were sitting stationary on the exit of Duffus Dip on the infield there. So again, we need to find out what happened there. Jack Irvin in the back of the grid there alongside Michael Weddle. Now we have been assured that the issues from Michael Weddle, it was a drive shaft failure, it caused significant damage, wasn't able to get fixed in time for race 1, but has now been fixed, and Michael Weddle should be taking to the grid. Now we'll see here, because obviously the cars will be weaving about, and there he is, smiley happy Michael Weddle has taken to the grids. And do you know what, that's actually part of a joke. It's not totally a joke, because Michael Weddle is probably one of the cheeriest, happiest, bubbliest guys out there on the Scottish Mini Cooper Cup grids out there. Very, very friendly lads, albeit until you cross him. From all intents and purposes, I have seen Michael Weddle unhappy a few times. Usually it's while storming his way off to the steward's office to complain about something, but such is life with the Mini Cooper Cup. I think it's all of the drivers, from the sounds of it, got sleeping bags up there in race control. Such is the level of action that you get here. But again, on that note, that's what makes it so entertaining. This has always been regarded and seen as the mini touring cars. This is the kind of the step before you go up into proper saloon car racing. Although some of these drivers have been here for many, many years, and would argue that there is no place that they'd rather be. They feel very much at home in these little Mini Coopers. So just to remind you then, as we said, the R53s currently led by Craig Blake, and then Neil Hose on pole position for the Mini Cooper Cup. But the cars making their way through just now. And it's going to be a 12-lap race. So again, perfect conditions, looks like, outside. All of the overcast conditions that we had earlier on this morning have pretty much cleared away. It is beautiful, patchy blue skies that we've got here at Knockhill. The clouds have parted, the sunshine is out, which means that the cars are going to be a little bit more slidey, a little bit more tricky to deal with, and a little bit more of a handful. And they already do tend to be quite a handful as well. You do see the rear end kicking out quite a bit. Now, with this being race 2 of race 3, I think everybody's going to be crossing their T's and minding their P's and Q's on this one. And then on race 3, usually it's a little bit more aggressive. You can see the 28 there of David Taylor there making his way on. David's a driver that I've spoken to at great lengths, has been one that's I would say had to do a lot of personal development, a lot of dealing with racing in a pack. I think he's done a great job of adjusting to that, maturing and developing as a race driver, and he'll be one to certainly watch today. As will that man at the back, the number 1 of Michael Weddle. The 1 minute board gets held out. The green flag flies here. We are ready to go racing for the second of the Mini Cooper Cup races here at Knockhill. 30-second board will be held out. Again, what to expect? Expect Craig Blake, Jamie Blake and Andrew Lamont to rocket off into the distance. Those are far more powerful cars that they are racing in. The R53s, turbocharged variants, they will be off and they will be having a ball of a time. They will just be doing their own thing, and away we go. The lights are on and we go racing here at Knockhill then. 4 cars wide at the start of the race. That's exactly what you expect here, ladies and gentlemen, and for the Mini Cooper Cup race. But there you go, Neil Hose now in the lead of that gaggle of cars there. Flymo, Michael Weddle already has not just cut the grass, he's cut the field. He's beaten about 6 cars and he's not even 3 corners into this race right now. Neil Hose though ahead of Ian Munro, still Chad Little in 3rd position. You just saw Michael Weddle coming through about 5 cars up from where he was already. And look, we're already resuming the action. Craig Blake and Jimmy Blake side by side, and that is the 19 of very, very, very wide indeed. Nick Orbiston tries to do a little bit of rallycross here with the minis. Up the inside goes Gordon Long then. Up the inside of the 17 of, the 18 of Nick Patterson there. Tries to make it happen. How is Michael Weddle already up into 10th position already? That is ridiculous skill from him. In fact, he's already up even further. Back with the battle with the Blakes. They're still fighting it out as well. I'm keeping an eye here for Michael Weddle. Yep, 10th position. Looks to be where he is right now. We've got a battle for 4th that is headed off by Gordon Long right now. As the car's coming through, Butcher's up over through the chicane then. And it's only going to be a matter of time. You can see Dan Martin in the 99 Mini there. In that white Mini at the back of that 5-car fight for 4th position there. So the Mini Coopers just making their way down into the hairpin just now. That's a look on the inside there. Dan Patterson tries to make a move up the inside of Gordon Long, gets it done. That looked very tentative from Gordon Long there. Tries to close the door on the 94, Ryan Smith. That's never going to work. They're going to be side by side going across the start-finish line. But Gordon Long keeps that position here. So you've got a 3-car fight for 1st, 2nd and 3rd there. And have a look up at the front then of that 4th position battle right now. As we keep our eye on this little battle for 1st place in the main Mini Coopers. Neil Hose still ahead of Ian Munro right now. Chad Little holding on to that battle as well. He's going to keep as close to those two as he possibly can. Gordon Long though starting to get sent backwards, and Weddle's progress through the field seems to have stalled a little bit. He's not making the same lightning manoeuvres that he was able to earlier on here. Neil Hose gets a little bit of a gap opened up ahead of Ian Munro. Chad Little Well, let's have a look at this. 3 wide down the back straight, ladies and gentlemen. Almost 4 wide. Weddell fancies a piece of this as well. Up the inside. That's a 3-3-3 of Ewan Robertson. Weddell now, in the space of 2 corners, has gone from 10th to what looks to be 6th position. Maybe even 5th. We'll keep an eye on the time screen as he comes across just now. But that is absolutely outrageous from Michael Weddell there. Great stuff to see. Back with the battle for the leaders of the main race then, as Neil Hose still leads Ian Munro and Chad Little in that 3rd position. That's a little bit wide from both your race leaders right now. And there is Michael Weddell. P5 it is for him already. Chaos behind him. I mean, it's almost like you just don't know where to look with everything going on. It's so much action always kicking off here. That's C22 going up the inside there. That's Finn Mash trying to undo some of the damage there. Little bit of contact there with Dan Martin still going on. And that is going to be a move up for P14, I believe, at the moment. And there we go. Now Neil Hose is in a little bit of trouble because Ian Munro right onto the back end of your race leader here for the Mini Cooper Cup. And what's happening is it looks like Neil Hose starting to overdrive that car. Maybe the tyres are starting to squeal a little bit, or maybe the car's starting to come back to Ian Munro. That wouldn't make sense, though, because that's meaning Chad Little still back into the mix here as well. And now we've got a huge battle going on. Ian Munro firmly tucked into that slipstream then of Neil Hose right now. Looks to the outside there. Is it going to be a cutback onto the inside there? No, tries to keep as much power and as much pace through that corner as he possibly can here. Oh, and there we go. That is going to be contact. That's going to be Neil Hose into the gravel. Ian Munro gets away with that one scot-free. And Neil Hose is not going to be impressed with that whatsoever. Big damage on the front left of that car of Ian Munro there. And that means that Chad Little now in the prime position to make a move and make this stick here and see what exactly he can do. We've only got a couple of laps left to go here. So we're keeping our eye on the start-finish line there because it's going to be the last lap very shortly indeed. But Ian Munro in the lead of the race ahead of Chad Little. Then in 3rd place is going to be the number 18 of Dan Patterson. Oh, and that's a big power slide coming down through the hill there. Chad Little, you get the impression he's just biding his time. He's just waiting, poised, ready to go. You can see that big damage on the front left of Ian Munro's car. Here is your overall race leaders, though. This is Craig Blake, Jamie Blake and Andrew Lamont all going into the final corner. Lamont loses that position out to Jamie Blake, to Jamie Blake, who gets across the line there. And there we go, we've got a battle for the lead as well. It's Chad Little side by side with Ian Munro. There's been a mistake on the exit of Clark's here, and this is going to be a drag race here. But have a look in the background as well. Dan Patterson, he wants to get a mix into this as well. Ian Munro's going to go from 1st to 3rd in the space of a lap. Unbelievable drama here with just what looks like 2 laps left to go. Chad Little in the lead of the race now from absolutely nowhere. Dan has had to jump back out of it. Dan Patterson can't quite make that move stick, so it's still going to be Ian Munro from Neil Hose and Chad Little. Unbelievable. Excuse me, sorry, it's Chad Little in the lead from Ian Munro and our number 18 car of Dan Patterson. brain just completely stopped working there for the briefest of moments, and Chad Little now having to throw everything he can. You can see the debris hanging off the back of that car, that rear bumper just absolutely uselessly hanging on by a thread on the back end of that car. Now, what is going to happen here with Ian Munro? Is he going to fancy a move up the inside? Neil Ho's away in the background there, trying to catch on to this tail of this group here, but you get the feeling that it's already done and dusted. Very heavy onto the brakes there for Chad Little. You can see the 18 of Dan Patterson still trying to get involved as well. But this race just feels like it just does not end, and you don't want it to end either. Here is your R53, so let's keep an eye on this, because this is a huge battle going on right now. It's currently Craig Blake ahead of Jamie Blake right now, ahead of Andrew Lamont. The two of them, the three of them, almost three abreast going into the final corner. Still side by side, Lamont tries to get the better run out of it, and it's still nose to tail. Remember earlier on when I said there's only 3 R53s in this race, and they still don't care. They just absolutely have a whale of a time. Well, that is exactly what they're doing, and that is exactly what's happening here. Chad Little still just ahead of Ian Munro. They've dropped the gap to Dan Patterson a little bit. There's a move up to the inside. This is going to be late on the brakes for Ian Munro. Thinks better of it. He's just trying to stay in the mirrors. He's going to have to be careful with that bumper though, because it's hanging off. What he doesn't want to do is tear any of the tyre whatsoever or get any sort of mechanical injury to that car. Seeing out the corner of my eye there, Michael Weddle up into P4 as well. An amazing recovery drive from Michael Weddle here, but Chad Little still leading ahead of Ian Munro and Dan Patterson here. This is an amazing fight that's going on. Up over through the chicane into Clark Corner, then again Munro just stalking the back end of that car in front of him. Down into the final hairpin. What can Munro do? Looks right, looks left. He's going to try and be late on the brakes. He is late on the brakes, but Chad Little has the measure of it, runs that car out as wide as you like, and he's going to have to get up way earlier to make anything happen with that going on right now. I think this has been the longest Mini Cooper Cup race in existence as Ian Munro tries to go right the outside, late on the brakes into McIntyre's. We've almost got 3 wide going into Butchers. He has to duck back in, and there goes Dan Patterson up the inside, side by side into chicane. They've pulled themselves into sanity as somehow all 3 cars make their way through there. It's still Chad Little from Ian Munro and Dan Patterson, and look at Michael Weddle. Somehow Flymo from the back of the grid is now on this front group. There's still what looks like 2 laps left to go, and no word of a lie, Weddle could get himself onto the podium right now at the very least. Munro takes it to the outside ahead of Chad Little. Can't quite make that work here, but Weddle is firmly into this battle for the lead of the race. I cannot believe what I am seeing here just now. Last lap board gets held out, so here we go. This is going to be the drive of all drives for Michael Weddle if he can get himself onto the podium of this race. It's still Jamie Blake from Craig Blake and Andrew Lamont here. And there goes Munro late on the brakes again, rounds into McIntyre's, tries to get the undercut. It looks like a good exit, but not good enough to get Chad Little. And Michael Weddle still just poised, waiting. And there we go, the R53's come across the line. It's going to be Jamie Blake, I believe, ahead of Craig Blake and Andrew Lamont. So they take the checkered flag, but we have to keep an eye back with the Mini Cooper Cup. Weddle does a little bit of rallycross as well into the gravel. What is Ian Munro going to try and do onto Chad Little? It's all going to rest on this, isn't it? It's all going to be down to the final hairpin then. Who's going to brake latest? A little wiggle of the brakes there from Ian Munro, but it looks like it's going to be Michael Weddle trying to make it round the outside. That's not going to happen here. It's surely going to be Chad Little ahead of Ian Munro, although it could be Michael Weddle. He could make it across the line. It's going to be side by side. Weddle takes third. Unbelievable, unbelievable finish from the back of the grid. Michael Weddle takes third position ahead of Dan Patterson in one of the most outrageous recovery drives I think I've ever seen with the SMRC. That was ridiculous driving there. Unbelievable action, and I tell you what, that race alone, every single spectator just got their money's worth today. That was amazing, amazing action. Wow, I'm going to need about a week to lie down after that race. That was spectacular stuff there. They can see here your R53s coming through just now. As we said, Craig Blake ahead of Jamie Blake and Andrew Lamont there. The R53s, we didn't even get much of a chance to even see them because of how dramatic that race was for the Mini Coopers. Huge thank you to Project 21 Detailing for being race partners on that one. A huge thank you to Yokohama Tyres as well. Oh my days, that was absolutely fantastic, fantastic stuff there. Really one of the better races that we've had today, and we've still got a third race to go later on this afternoon. So the cars making their way round into the grid just now. They're away into the holding area. And Andy Alston, I hope you brought me a pillow and a sleeping bag because they are going to be heading through very, very shortly. So just give it a couple of minutes and we'll head into the holding area. Andy Alston's ready. Just waiting on his glorious assistant, Anthony Hollings, to get himself into the holding area with his nimble camera work. But what a race that was. That was absolutely fantastic. Really enjoyed every single second of it. No word of a lie. That was brilliant, brilliant stuff. So that is going to be huge championship implications for that one. And in just a couple of minutes' time, we'll head over to the holding area and we'll have a chat with Andy Alston in just a minute's time. Right, and as if by magic, over in the holding area, Andy, I hope you've got a pillow and a sleeping bag, mate, because I need a rest after that one.
Dave, fantastic action there in the Mini Cooper Ace Cup and the Mini Cooper Cup as well. But it was Craig Blake, car number 95, taking the win ahead of Jamie Blake with Andrew Lamont. Final step on the podium for him. We'll grab a quick chat here just with Jamie Blake initially, just to get his thoughts after that. But Jamie, another entertaining race at the front for you guys. How was that one for you?
It was really hard work again, same as the first race. Just close between all three of us. Every one of us had the lead at some point, and he looked like he was maybe going to get away with it for a while. And he had a few mistakes himself, maybe the car sliding about more later on in the race, and that was really tough. And mine seems to be yeah, it's all spraying on us now. I think a stone maybe from Andy's car has punctured the radiator, so hopefully it's okay.
Yeah, fingers crossed it'll be all right. It looked like the hairpin was the opportunity for making moves in this one.
Yeah, definitely. It's the easiest place to do it because it's after a big straight, so you can get on the back of someone and then try and make a move if they're not defending, or go around the outside. So good fun. Good
stuff, Jamie. Mate, congratulations, well done. Jamie Blake there, second place in the Mini Cooper Ace Cup. We'll grab a quick chat with a couple of other drivers as well here. Of course, so many big talking points in that race here today. We'll grab a quick word with a couple of them and get their thoughts on this one. One man there, Michael Weddle, want to get a chat with him at some point, but let's get a quick chat with Craig Blake, car number 95. Craig, another entertaining race at the front with you guys in the Mini Cooper Ace Cup, and you must be very thrilled to come out on top.
Yeah, absolutely. 2 out of 2 today, pole position, can't really go much better than that. I did go to let Jamie through because he's obviously ahead in the points for the championship. I've got to win every race and Jamie needs a DNF, so of course I don't want him not to finish. So I went to let him through, but last lap we caught the back markers in the Coopers and there was a gap there and I was going to get caught by Andy otherwise, and I want second. If it's not first, I want second, so had to go for the first. So, but as I say, we've got next event, and hopefully Jamie can go and do the championship, because one Blake needs to have it.
Good stuff. Craig, thanks very much for speaking to us. Craig Blake there taking the win in the second race here in the Mini Cooper S Cup. We'll get a quick chat here with one man who's had arguably, I would say, probably the drive of his career, certainly the drive of his season. Michael Weddle putting that car on the podium. Fantastic driving there. Many congratulations.
Cheers, Frankie. No, it was one of those races where you know you needed to do it for the championship. You know, starting from the back, and Chad was only 6 points behind, and he was right at the front end. I knew I needed to have a good start. I think I got up to like 9th or something after lap 1, and it was just a case of trying to pick off everyone one lap at a time and keep it steady. So no, I'm just delighted to get onto the podium after all of that.
How important was the start for you? Because you really made up a number of places there, and that just gave you the momentum and the confidence as well to really take the fight to the rest of the pack.
You know, in my head I was like, if I can get the top 10 after lap 1, a podium's on, because you've got to get through the carnage of lap 1 safely, but also get through the pack. So the boys at Minimax have done a great job. You know, they've had a hard couple of hours this morning trying to get it all fixed, but we got it fixed in the end there, and I'm glad I could reward their hard work with a podium.
Absolutely. And what's the kind of the plan going into the final race here later on this afternoon? Do you think you can maybe try and put a bit of pressure on the guys? Also, Chad's had a good weekend so far as well, but again, taking a lot of confidence into the finale.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You know, we need to just carry that on now and just go for the win, really. You know, for the sake of the championship now. So I think we're now lying second in the championship. So it's just a case of maximising the points we can get. So we go for the win.
Great stuff, Michael. Very, very well done. Many congratulations, Michael Weddle there, putting that car on the final step of the podium. Considering they started right at the back of the pack, very strong performance from him.